Hey there, welcome back. It's time for, once again, the golden age of DC Comics 365 days, where we go through this coffee table book a page a day and we talk about comic books. What goes better with coffee table talk than some freshly roasted coffee, freshly brewed? This is Tanzanian pea berry. This is a magnificent medium roast. Oh, that's so good. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hey there. It's time once again to talk about the golden age of DC Comics, which lasts from 1938 until 1955. The Silver Age begins with showcase number 4 and the debut of Barry Allen, The Flash, in 1956, which lasts until 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby, goes from 1970 until 1985. What separates those two ages? I think it was Mike Grell's and Denny O'Neil's Green Arrow, Green Lantern. That was a big line in the sand. Also, the death of Gwen Stacy. A few years later, so comics started getting it just went to a new direction, and then there was the death of Aqua Baby, Arthur Curry Jr. in Aquaman, and that was in the mid '70s, and then there was the introduction of Firestorm. It's just the most proper. I would call him a Silver Age character. But, that's, because he's got all the workings of it. But we're not here to talk about Firestorm. We're here to talk about what's going on today. It's April the 20th. Isn't it not? Let's open the book. This book was given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends, and it's been surfing my coffee tables ever since. And it's a great excuse to have conversations about comic books. It always has. People would just pick it up, thumb through it. It's from 2004. It's Abrams Press. It is a hardcover. It is. Look at the back of this. I love this. I love the design of this book. Yeah, who is that? That's Superman. Yeah, we all know that. And it's from Abrams Press, 2004, by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. There's a link in the description if you want your copy. Go to Amazon and get your own and read along. And we'll have a read-along party, won't we not? All right, let's just do this. It's our old friend, Kid Eternity. I've got so much to talk about Kid Eternity. All right, well, let's look at the art. This is art by Alex Kotsky from Hit Comics number 32. And just remember, originally, Kid Eternity was part of Quality Comics, which was the direct competition to DC Comics in the Golden Age. Quality Comics was the house of Captain Marvel, I believe. And they got bought out by DC in 1956. So that became retroactively part of the DC canon, but set it on its own earth. Hence this multiverse you're hearing all about these days. Yeah, it came from publishing and accruing different properties over the years. Yeah. April the 20th. Okay, let's look at the art. Yeah, it's Mr. Keeper and Kid Eternity himself. And Mr. Keeper is kind of like the bumbling adult but powerful, ally to the kid hero. You know what I mean? So let's see. Whoa, he's a little, he's been napping, and that's Kid Eternity. He's like, Mr. Keeper, wake up! Something terrible has happened. And Kid Eternity he died before he was supposed to, and so he was resurrected by these cosmic forces and given the ability to call upon any one from history to help him out of a situation, and so he had to live the rest of his natural life in heroics, and that kept him busy. But let's read the blurb. One of the strangest superheroes ever introduced was Kid Eternity, a boy who died too soon, but was granted the power to return from the ghost world. And by speaking the word eternity, he could summon the spirits of famous figures from the past to aid him in his adventures. He also had a chubby guide and mentor known as Mr. Keeper. The gimmick of bringing back people from history was an unusually high-minded way of attempting to attract readers. But in fact, the writers weren't always up to their appointed task. In this story, for instance, Kid Eternity gets most of his help not from a legendary hero, but from another comic book character, Plastic Man. Ooh, ancient crossovers. And this was from Hit Comics number 32, summer of 1944. Indeed. What an interesting time to be alive, huh? World War II is going on. We're about to, we've just entered the Pacific Theater, in the summer of 1944, and let's look at the art once again. Yeah, you get the Ben Ray dots. Yeah, and that's Kid Eternity. Yeah, and I tried to read the 1991 reboot by Grant Morrison. Now, let me tell you, I love Grant Morrison. I remember this from when it came out. I was, a senior in high school, going to freshman in college, my 1 year in college. But yeah, look, this is a triptych. This is a cover. So we've got 3 covers, and they make they make it their own art and their own sequence. And these are prestige formats from 1991. Look, they were $4.99. Yeah, suggested for mature readers. This is Grant Morrison, Duncan Farigo. Here's the back cover, and see this. This was I think this was supposed to be the icon, like his chest logo, and because Grant Morrison's very, very good at designing superhero characters. Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Mark Millar. These writers have a very Geoff Johns. They have this huge understanding of the dynamics of the superhero itself, and they write really good traditional adventure stories. And Grant Morrison is on the end of the spectrum of the wacky and the out there, and the mind bending, and the mind expanding. But yeah, so I really tried to read these. This was in the tradition, I believe, of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman around the same time as well. And because this is not Vertigo. It doesn't say Vertigo on there. There's no Vertigo imprint. Because Vertigo was just being born. Let's look Vertigo up real quick, so I'm not talking just out of my backside. Vertigo Comics. Vertigo. No, I don't want to go to DC's poopy site. Gave them a click. Okay, Vertigo started in '93 under Karen Berger. Karen Berger is a huge mover and shaker at DC Comics. Yeah, Vertigo is her fault, and thank you, Karen Berger. We got so many good, mature, horror, magic-based, macabre, grotesque comic books that didn't, they weren't made for kids. They were made for grown-ups. And it was really, Hellblazer. What an amazing I read Hellblazers 1 through 200 twice with the annuals and the spin-offs, and what an amazing ride. That was Vertigo. It was the place where these Golden Age characters got reinvented. So these in the late 80s, DC had access to all of these Golden Age superheroes. Now that they had the Shadow, They had do they have Doc Savage as well? I have to look that up. And see who currently owns Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze, or was that just a licensed time? Let's see who owns him now. Yeah. Let's see. The publisher is Street and Smith. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. DC. I think that was a. That was that. Then that must have been a licensed property one. Yeah, I remember that back in the day. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been the golden. Yeah, you're not gonna just see me dazing at a wiki page. That's not good content. What is good content though is reading this book every day with you and talking about comic books. And but yeah, the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and we'll find out what we're talking about and who and when we turn the page tomorrow. God bless, good luck, namaste, and like and subscribe if you could be so kind. I'd like to earn your subscription. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.